yourself comparing your artwork or your artistic journey or your success to other artists? Well, I've been there as well, and I just wanted to give you some tips that I use myself when I'm feeling like this. I'm also going to show you how I created this watercolour expressive magpie as a time-lapse in the background, just to give you something interesting to look at while I have this chat with you. I'm Kirsty Rebecca, and I make drawing and painting tutorials that are easy to follow even if you're just starting out. This piece is a watercolour painting of a magpie in a loose expressive style. I used Archer's hot pressed watercolour paper in the A5 size, the Schminky watercolours, and then some archival uni pen in size 0.2 on top towards the end. Do you feel disheartened by other people's work, people who are improving faster than you, or people who might be younger than you and more successful, people whose work is similar to yours but is getting more attention and more recognition? How do you stop those feelings making you not want to create or continue your art career at all? And this is a hard question to answer, but the main solution to this is that you need to change your attitude. It sounds harsh, but I also used to feel all of these things as well, until I started looking at it differently. It takes a long time to train your mind to not think negatively about yourself when you feel others are more successful than you are, but this can also relate to other areas of your life as well, and you need to try and see the positive side. If you think that someone else's artwork is better, or that they have a more successful career, or it's unfair that they got famous overnight or whatever, just remember that there is always someone out there that is a few steps behind where you currently are in your journey, and they may be thinking the same thing about you. It doesn't matter how much you improve on your skill, how much you sell your art for, or how many followers you have, there will always be someone who is doing better in all of those areas. But there is always someone that's behind you and trying to achieve what you currently have. Take a look at some of your previous artwork and see how much you've improved over time. Remember where you started and how much you've improved. I know it sounds cliche, but you don't need to be better than other people, you just need to be better than you were yesterday. Most of the artists that seemingly had success overnight have put many years into their skills or social media or YouTube channels before they start seeing drastic results. There is one artist who is really quite popular for her online teaching and is making a comfortable living from it, and I won't name names, but she has a YouTube channel that she's had for years, working from the time she woke up to the time she went back to sleep on her videos and tutorials before she got enough traction, which ended up snowballing her career as an online tutor. But the point is that she put many years into it before she started getting those massive followings. Most people don't often think about the work behind it, and they only see the success they have now and wonder why their own artwork is not getting that much traction. But most people haven't put in the same amount of work behind the scenes to get to that point. And there are, of course, a few people who do manage to reach success overnight without a lot of work behind them, but it's very rare. Think about it this way, if you choose to be a surgeon or a lawyer, you would have to go to university or college or wherever for years and years and pay tens of thousands of dollars before you would even start making any money at all. So don't expect an art career to be an easy option. You have to put in the work, and it can take years to build up your skills and a following to match. If you're finding that you're jealous of someone else's work and you're wishing that you could create work like that, or that you'll never be that good, try and work out what it is exactly about their work that you like. Is it the amount of detail? Is it the contrast? Is it the design of the piece? Is it a certain element that they include in all of their pieces? Is it the colors that they use? What is it that you actually like? Can you learn from that and start to include those elements of this in your own work, or practice the parts that you know you need to improve on? I'm not saying that you need to copy their work, don't do that, but if you like the color scheme, maybe try the colors in one of your own pieces. A lot of artists post work in progress shots, which is a great way to study how they are creating their pieces. If you want to know something specific about an artist's work or their creative process, you can always contact them and ask. Most artists I know will be flattered that someone admires their work and has reached out to ask a question. Try and pick specific questions though, like what brand of paints or brushes do you use? Do you use a tonal underpainting before going in with colour? Do you come up with designs by freehanding in a sketchbook, or do you merge photos together with Photoshop? Questions that will help you work out how they do certain things but won't have a really long answer that the artist may not have time to respond to. Most artists are happy to help out a fellow artist and answer questions like that. There's room for many artists in this world, especially this day and age with social media and the internet. You can reach almost every corner of the world with your artwork, and there will be a niche of people who like your work better than other artists' work. It's like musicians or restaurants. There are many great singers in restaurants, some better than others, but there will always be a reason why you like one of them or a few of them in particular in comparison to others. And a lot of people will like the same one, but others won't. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to be just like anyone else. Create what you love to create and hone in your skills so that your artwork is the highest quality that you can manage at the present time. Then continue to grow and learn along the way. You will improve over time and your work will get better and better. If you enjoy what you've created, then chances are there are other people who will enjoy looking at it as well. You don't have to draw what is in style right now because there are tons of artists already doing that, and you may even find it harder to sell your work with that much competition. So draw what you like. For example, I love drawing birds, especially ugly ones or striking ones like hornbills or vultures or colourful majestic parrots. It's not a small niche, but it's not really a large niche either. So there will be a lot of people in the world who also enjoy birds and will enjoy my artwork. Or if you like using certain colours, then there will be other people who like those colours too. Whereas if you draw fan art from the most recent movie that came out, there's probably hundreds of other artists out there doing the same thing, and now you have way more competition and it will go out of style very quickly as well. Create what you love and it will show through in your work, and others will see that too. You don't have to have the biggest audience. You can have a small audience with a small amount of people who are serious buyers that absolutely love what you're doing. You should change your mindset when you feel jealous of another artist. Be happy for them because they may have spent years learning how to do what they're doing with as much trial and error, uncertainty and jealousy as what you're going through now. Someone else's success doesn't mean that you have failed. Be happy for them for achieving the level that they're at now, and be optimistic about your own artistic journey because if there are others creating amazing work, you can as well. We're all human, and if another human can achieve it, then there's no reason that you can't as well. You just need to put in that time to practice and learn how to improve your skills. Everybody starts from the beginning. Even the best artists you know had to start somewhere, so you can too. If you catch yourself thinking negatively about your own artwork, saying things like, my artwork is terrible, I can't draw, I'll never be as good as them, I should just give up, put that into another perspective. What if you replaced I with your friend's name? Mary's artwork is terrible, Mary can't draw, she'll never be as good as them, Mary should just give up. Think about how that sounds. You are your own worst critic. Words can really hurt, even if they're coming from the critic inside your head about your own work. If you change the way you speak to yourself, like you're speaking to a friend, you could really change your feelings about your own work. For example, wow, that artist's work is really great. My friend Mary paints as well, and I bet with enough practice and time, she could paint like that one day too. It sounds silly, but try and catch yourself when you think negative thoughts about your work and look at it from an outsider's perspective. Would someone else really say that about your work? Would you say that about someone else's work and actually believe it? Or could you stop and think and consider that everyone is at a different spot on their own journey, including yourself, and that they will one day reach their goals as well? And that was a really long, ranty way of getting to the point, but I wanted to have this chat about it because I've been there as well, and I hope this helps you see things differently and help you create, because it should be enjoyable and that you should choose to do it because you love doing it. I've created a playlist on the screen with some other art topics that I thought you might find interesting, so click on that and I'll see you over there.